What's going on, everyone? My name is Brandon, and today we're going to take a look at the Jeep Wrangler 4xe hybrid pedestrian warning system. I'm going to show you where both the speakers are at the front and the rear, and some things you might need to know when putting those bigger tires on. Sounds like you're breaking it, but you're not. Okay. Now, if you have a bigger tire and wheel that you're going to add onto this thing, this could come into play. So, did this set a check engine light on, or did it disable the hybrid system? Let's find out. Now, what is the pedestrian warning system? Why do we have it? And what happens if we disconnect it? Well, that's what we're going to find out. Now, when are these pedestrian speakers activated? They are activated when the vehicle is in drive, okay, and under 20 miles an hour. I'll show you here in a moment what the front one sounds like. Anytime you're under 20 miles an hour, that speaker is going to be active. Anytime you go over that 20 miles an hour, that's when it'll cut off. Now, when we go to reverse, it does turn the front speaker off and turns the rear speaker on. Now, let's take a listen of what that sounds like. I'm going to come back here to the vehicle. You hear that like ocean sounding noise? Now let's take a look at the front one and see where it's at. Let's go ahead and put it in drive. Now the front one is over here on the right hand side, and it's back in this area. We're going to get to that here in just a moment also. But as you can hear, it's not the higher pitch noise, it is the lower ocean sounding noise. Now, I'm not really sure how this noise is supposed to warn people that you're coming, but I think it's at least an attempt to make some type of noise instead of having a silent vehicle just rolling down the road. Now, if you've watched this channel long enough, you know that I'm just not okay with knowing where it's at. We're gonna rip this fender off, rip that back tire off, and we're gonna get its exact location and see what happens when we disable this. Will it actually disable the hybrid system or turn the check engine light on? Not sure, but we're gonna find out. Let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take this right front fender off. Now, there is a very easy way to take this right front fender off. You do not have to take the inner fender liner out. Guys, I'm gonna tell you, this is probably the easiest way to take this right front fender off if you ever need to. I'll show you right quick. There's 4 bolts. Now, these 4 bolts are right here. We're gonna start at the back. 1, 2, there's 1 straight up here, there's an access hole. 3, and then don't take this one out. Do not take that one out. This is number 3, and the 4th one is straight up here. We're gonna see it right there, that one right there. Let's do that. Dude, you guys are probably not gonna be a fan of this, but this literally is just gonna pop completely off. I'm gonna be really surprised. Just take this bottom down here, get a little pressure, okay? Kind of sounds like you're breaking it, but you're not. Okay? Got a couple clips fall out. All right. This comes loose. You got 1 plug right here, which is for your lights. Oh, I forgot about the push pin. And 1 push pin. There you go. Now, this is what the vehicle looks like with the right front fender off. As you can see, we have some clips here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got a couple of them that did break. I'm going to show you where to get those if you need to get those. Now, as you can see right here is the pedestrian speaker. All right, we got some cool stuff in here. If you didn't know, this is the power steering pump. Okay, this power steering pump. Right inside there, that big orange cable going to that is the MGU. That is the 300 volt motor starter generator. Now, there are 2 different noises that you can hear here. There is a higher pitch whining noise, which is the actual power steering pump that's making that. And then there is a lower type of ocean sound. You can hear that. That is this speaker here. Now, we're gonna find out what happens when we unplug this. All right. That noise went away, and we still got the high-pitched humming noise coming from the power steering pump. So did this set a check engine light on, or did it disable the hybrid system? Let's find out. All right. Now, I want to find out here. We have no message system, no check engine light. Nothing, everything seems to be okay. No warning indicators, nothing. So if you unplug it, maybe it sets a code or something. Not 100% sure. Let's find out. This may be a 2-cycle type of code, maybe. Still no message. No warning indicators. Now that's interesting. I don't hear the rear one right now. I'm going to find out if the rear one is on since we disabled that front one. Nope, it is not on. How about that? The rear one does not work when the front one is disconnected. Very, very, very interesting. And the module is not running, as we can hear. It is not on. Well, we're going to plug it back in and see how loud this thing is. Hello, wake up. There it was. Now we're going to get to the rear pedestrian speaker, which is behind the spare tire. Now if you have a bigger tire and wheel that you're going to add onto this thing, this could come into play, so make sure you keep watching. Now if you've never taken the spare tire off, this has to come off first. It is a 40 Torx bit, and this turns, comes right off. Now the rear pedestrian speaker is behind this rear tire carrier. Now if you were putting lift wheels and tires on this vehicle and you're going to put some big 37s back here, you've got to replace this, modify it, add to it, make it bigger and beefier, obviously, right? So you got to keep in mind with that speaker that that is very important to make sure that it goes back there. Now we're going to go ahead and take this rear tire carrier off and show you what to expect when upgrading this and where to maybe put the speaker at. All right. Now here we are looking at the back side of the rear tire carrier. As you can see in here is the backup camera, and this here is the rear pedestrian speaker. As you can see, it is not that big, and it is not crazy loud. What happens when we unplug it? It just is quiet. Now let's see if this actually turns the check engine light on or disables the hybrid system. I don't think it will, but let's find out. All right, now that is driving me crazy. That did not sound good. All right, now we're starting the vehicle up to see if we have any type of warning lights that will keep us from doing anything, and the vehicle is ready to drive. Any messages? No messages. So disabling the pedestrian warning system doesn't look like it turns any type of check engine lights or warning lights on, but I definitely would not recommend disabling this system. Now what we need to know about this speaker is when we do upgrade the rear tire carrier, we will have to transfer this bracket over. You can get to the bolts on the front of it. These two bolts right here, one there and one there. We'll take that bracket off on the inside, which also holds the studs in. So if you had to do that, there you go. There's a little more information. The pedestrian warning system had those two speakers, the front and the rear. They don't do a lot. I know the government has got those in place for electric vehicles to make sure that people can hear you when you're coming, but I don't really see how that's going to work. You can barely hear it when you're up to it. Some vehicles are louder than others, I will give you that. I know that the Chrysler Pacifica, the new one, the 2021, is very loud. You can hear it as you're driving. When you get to that 20 miles an hour, bam, you can hear it. I thought that was pretty annoying when I drove that. But the Jeep Wrangler's not that loud. It's not that audible. So, you know, we did find out if you unplug it, it does not turn any type of warning indicator on or disable anything. So I'm not telling you to disable it. Do not disable your pedestrian warning system. Do not do that. But we know what happens when it is unplugged or forgotten to be unplugged. Now, I got to put all this stuff back together, so I better get going. Guys, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you're smarter now than you were when you started this video. Have a great day.